Hello, welcome to my final exam presentation. I am going to be talking about the short story in world literature as my final presentation for our 501 class. Just to give a little bit of backstory, when I first applied to Gardner-Webb, and was asked to send in a sample of my writing. I had been out of college for about 10 years, and so I wasn't comfortable submitting or revising anything that I had written during my undergraduate years, so I went with the prompt that I was given from the English department at Gardner-Webb, which was about the Derek Walcott poem, Light of the World. And one of the supporting essays that I read and used to write that paper for my admission to Gardner-Webb talked about Derek Walcott and the problem of witness. It's the Walcott's Traveler and the Problem of Witness by Geoffrey Gray. And it just spoke to the fact that Derek Walcott, though he was a Caribbean author, had spent the majority of his adult life in the States and in Europe, and so there's a lot of talk about whether or not he can truly be called a Caribbean author when he had been so long submerged in other cultures. So just to kind of give that as a little starting point, I'm going to come back to that later as part of this discussion. Now fast forward to September, and week 4 of this class, we were reading about literature and literary criticisms. It's an essay by Richard C. Taylor. And what struck me in that piece was his original discussion about how we study literature. I am definitely interested in pursuing a literature specialty with my graduate education, especially something in American literature. And up until I read his essay, Richard C. Taylor's essay, I had only ever thought of studying literature in the way that he describes as literary periodicity, breaking the literature down to either a time period or a country, or even a genre, but mostly a time period, was really the only way that I had considered studying and preparing myself for a graduate level degree of education. So what I started realizing as I was reading this essay by Taylor is that I don't want to be that person who plants their flag in a certain neighborhood of literary ideas or time frames. I want to be more of the global citizen instead of the parochially well-informed patriot, as he talks about. So with my interest being in American literature and short stories in particular, I started thinking back in September about how that would shape my professional identity in English studies in general, and how I could still pursue my interests and get a specialty in some particular type of literary study without shutting myself off to the ideas of like a global impact on the literary scene. So I thought that it would be interesting to do a research and a study on the way that short stories, particularly from what I'm going to call the superpower countries, which would be the United States, England, France, even Germany to some extent, the impact that they have had, especially in short story context, on smaller or less represented countries. I found a lot of interesting information. I actually started reading some short stories from some of the authors that I found in this research, so it was fun for me just to open my eyes to some different authors that I might not have even known existed if I hadn't done this research. One of those authors was Anne Enright, and I found her essay on the Irish short story when I was first starting this research project. She quotes another Irish author, Frank O'Connor, one of her childhood heroes, when he was talking about why the Irish short story has kind of this sense of angst, a little bit of this sense of loneliness, and he says that the answer for him lay in the loneliness to be found among submerged population groups. These are people on the margins of society. And Ireland, with its sociopolitical and even socioeconomic history, has really been one of those fringe countries. It's been enveloped by so many other superpowers that, well, so frequently by Great Britain, that I think it lost a little bit of its sense of national identity, and the literature from Ireland, especially with the short story, is really showing that. Anne Enright also made a comment that America is made up of immigrant communities, which is why she thinks the short story is such a successful genre coming from the States. But the Irish short story really is full of angst because it's almost written in reaction to the influence that England and Britain had on not only their artistic scene but their socioeconomic situations. So with this is an example of the influence of these superpowers being something that creates a reaction to that influence. Another kind of influence would be influence as adverse impact. I found a really interesting essay from a Moroccan author. His name is Abdellatif Akbib, and he's actually the first Moroccan short story author to write any of his works in English instead of in his native tongue of Arabic. The essay that he was writing that I've located on JSTOR talks mostly about the history of the short story in Morocco, how it was late coming to that country because not only did it have to travel through Egypt, which was the literary hub, if you will, of Africa at the time, back in the 1940s, but then it also had to elbow its way through all of the political issues that were going on with France being in control of their political system. So it was really stifled because of the fact that Morocco was not its own country. However, hand in hand with that rise of the short story in the 40s, 50s, and 60s was the political movements. The nationalists started really coming into play, and then they finally overthrew the French government and they're their own country now. So this idea that the short stories almost stifled growth in Morocco up until a more recent time was due to the influence, kind of an adverse impact really, of one of the superpowers of France. And then finally, to take just an interesting different tack, I found an essay by Nancy Goldberg. It's on an author that I had never heard of. His name is Ventura Garcia Calderon. And he was from Peru. He was from a very wealthy, influential family in Peru, but he had to vacate Peru and lived most of his adult life in France especially, but in other European countries as well. He and his brother became very, very influential and prolific authors, especially with the short story. They were in the French social scenes. They really I think they even ran some publishing houses, so they did a lot of publication for not just Peruvian authors, but also for Europeans as well. And so you have to start wondering, because he spent the bulk of his life in Europe, whether his naturalist style, which is what they identify his style to be, wasn't a direct impact of the fact that he was writing with all of these naturalist authors in France while he was living there for so many years. Another thing that I wanted to talk about with him is that he was actually a Nobel Prize winner in 1934, and he doesn't even have a page on Wikipedia. I was looking for him just for some details, death and birth and that kind of thing, and he isn't even listed in the English version of a Wikipedia page. That blew my mind, that there would be a Nobel Prize winning short story author from Peru, who lived in France, and he doesn't even have a Google search of his name. So that brought a bunch of other questions. Yes, his influence as an author who wrote mostly about Peruvian subjects had been living in France, so how did that stylistically enculturated kind of literary experience change the way he wrote? But also, why don't we know much about him? Why haven't we heard anything about him as well? So just some remaining questions at the end of this research project for me is, what I would like to look at further with more research is, how do foreign texts change after translation? So say Mr. Calderon had actually written in Spanish more than in French or in English. If we had translated those stories, would the translation have lost anything, any of the style or the impact or the meaning? And then how do expatriate or well-traveled authors, how are they influenced by their new cultures? It's the same as the prompt that I started with back when I was writing my submission essay for Gardner Webb. did Derek Walcott's style and content change because of his experiences outside of the Caribbean? Same thing with Ventura Garcia Calderon. How different would his writing have been if he had stayed in his native country? And then finally, how famous do foreign authors have to be to earn and keep international or global recognition? I just am surprised that though I have heard of Derek Walcott, a lot of people seem to have a familiar experience with his work. I had never heard of Ventura Garcia Calderon, and that was just an interesting thing for me, for him to be so famous during his life and then to have lost all of that. And not only that, but I could barely find just a simple Google search on who he was. So those are some things that I thought about. Here is my works cited page. It's been an interesting topic to research, one that has led me to some really fun and wonderful short stories as well. Thank you.